with the computer. That is programming the computer. So what does mean by a computer program? So a program is nothing but it is an instruction that you are going to give to computer for performing some operation. That is the purpose of program. So what about our previous classes? What we discussed? So from today, I am going to teach you how to speak with the computer or how to write programs that perform some operations. So for that, we are going to follow a certain steps. We are not going to directly type C program or C++ program. First we develop algorithm, then after that we develop pseudo code. Then after that we develop flowcharts. Then finally, after fixing everything, after coming to the proper solution, we are going to code in C or any other programming language. So the programming language is not that much important, but the problem solving is much important. So how to write a program? Normally, without this algorithm, pseudo codes or anything, you directly sit in the computer, you directly type the code, and finally you will get some results. What is the drawback in that method? After some time, if you or some of your friends check the program, it is very difficult for them to understand the program. That is a problem. So that is why you are developing a documentation of your logic, that is your algorithm, then converting that algorithm into pictorial representation, that is your flowchart. Then finally, you are converting the pictorial representation into shorter form of algorithm, that is your pseudo code, that almost looks like your programming language, but with limited keywords. Then finally, with the help of your pseudo code and flowchart, you are able to easily write that program to any language. That is not a big issue. So with the help of pseudo code, you are able to write the program in any programming language. So try to understand one thing clearly. Programming language. So what is mean by a programming language? So always differentiate programming language and problem solving skills. It is different and programming language is different. So what is mean by programming language? The programming language is used to solve some problem. That is okay. But how to solve the problem? That is important, right? If you know programming language, then what you are learning? So you are learning the syntax of programming language. Is that syntax of programming language is enough for you to solve the problem? It is not enough. So you require a good problem solving skill. So first, with the help of this algorithm, flowchart and pseudo code, you are going to solve the problem. Then finally, you are going to implement the problem. So there are two steps in solving the problem. Write that. Two steps in solving the problem. First one, identifying and providing solution to the problem. Identifying and providing solution to the problem. That is the first step. Example, algorithm, flowcharts, pseudocode. With the help of this three tools, you are going to identify the problem and provide solution to the problem. Then our second step, that is our implementation part. So you are going to implement the identified solution using programming language. So this is the logic. So what is the first step? In first step, you are identifying and providing solution to the problem. And second step, what is the second step? Implementation. So how you are going to implement that solution using some programming language, because system or computer require a common programming language. So you are going to implement with some programming language. Example for implementation is C, C++ and Java. So this is some examples. We have many programming languages, but these are all three common examples. Now, write the definition for algorithm, pseudocode and flowchart. Then the next step is I will tell you one problem. The problem is finding the biggest of three numbers. And for that particular problem, let's create algorithm first. Then we create a flowchart. Then we create a pseudocode. Now I am not going to discuss about implementing the problem, that I will discuss in the next sessions. Maybe after 2 or 3 classes later. First we try to see how to solve the problem. So write the definition for algorithm. Algorithm is an ordered sequence of finite, well-defined, unambiguous instruction for completing a task. First write this, then I will tell you the meaning for each word. We write algorithm in natural language. So you have any doubt? You have, so you know what is mean by problem solving, right? So how we solve the problem? First, we identify the problem. Then after identifying the problem, we provide solution to the problem. So how we provide solution to the problem? Using algorithm. Then after algorithm, we use flowcharts. Then after that we use pseudocode. Then finally we implement the problem using our programming language. So that is what the today's lecture is all about. So I'm saying how to identify and solve the problem. That is all about today's lecture. For identifying and solving the problem, we are going to use these techniques. Then with the help of programming language, we implement the identified solution. We write algorithm in a natural language, that is in English. We write our algorithms in English. There is no keywords involved in algorithm. This is an important point. Note this. There is no standard keywords involved in algorithm. You can write the algorithm in natural language. Let me show you a real example for solving our identified problem. So what is our identified problem now? Finding biggest of three numbers. That is our identified problem. First, algorithm is an ordered sequence of finite. So our algorithm should be in a proper order. Then it should be in a finite state. That means after some time it should end. Then we have unambiguous. What does mean by unambiguous? It should provide only one meaning. So if a person is reading the algorithm, then the final output should be biggest of three number. That is unambiguous. That is providing a single meaning. So that is the meaning for your unambiguous, providing a single meaning. So if a person reads your algorithm, then it should provide only a single meaning. That means it should be that much easier. So it should be ordered and it should end in particular place. Then it should provide a single meaning. So this is the example algorithm. Example algorithm for finding biggest of three number. So how this algorithm is there in the slide? It is in the first. What is our first condition? Algorithm should be in a natural language. So how it is written? It is written in a normal language, normal English. So what they are doing first? They are starting the algorithm. Then read the three numbers A, B, C. Then what is the next step? Compare A and B. If A is greater, perform step 4. So step 4 in the sense is step 1, 2, 3, 4. In that sense. Starts from this start. First write this algorithm, then I will tell you. First write this algorithm in your phone. First. So have you all completed the definition for algorithm? Next see how the flowchart is drawn in the PPT. See, a flowchart is a diagrammatic representation of the logic for solving a task. In the previous slide, you just wrote the solution in normal natural language in your English. But here they are writing the same solution in pictorial form, but they are using different symbols. This symbol, the first symbol is used to denote the start of the operation, and this particular symbol is used to denote input, and this particular symbol is the third symbol is used to denote decision making. In this particular place they make some decision, then again this particular symbol denotes output operation, and finally this oval symbol denotes stop operation. So what is the name of this symbol? Parallelogram. So parallelogram is used to represent input and output operation. Then what is this symbol? Parallelogram is this. Then finally we have stop symbol here. So what is the purpose of stop symbol? Because in this place you read this definition once again. Algorithm is an ordered sequence of finite. This is important word, finite. Finite in the sense it should end in some place. So that is why you are completely stopping this algorithm here. So first draw this algorithm in your note. This flowchart. So you are converting that algorithm text into pictorial form using flowchart. For each and every symbol there is a meaning that I will show you in the next slide. But as of now try to understand how to convert the algorithm into flowchart, the pictorial representation of our algorithm. See, next is our pseudo code. See, this is the pseudocode for our existing problem, that is finding biggest of 3 number. But here in pseudocode we use a standard keywords like read, if, assign. We use a word like this. It is a formal language. Pseudocode is a formal language. You should use only the standard keywords. This read, then max. So you should use the keywords like this. This is one of the simplest form, and this is one way to represent our algorithm. Algorithm is something what we are directly providing or directly writing our solution in natural language. Flowchart is a one technique where we are directly using a picture, the symbols to show our algorithm. Here we are in pseudocode, we are going to write a structured language. It is almost looks like a programming language for representing the algorithm. It is much easier than our normal natural language algorithm, because anyone can easily understand by seeing this keywords. So read value of ABC. Here instead of directly printing, we are using the keywords max, and finally we are printing max here. So I am able to understand the difference between pseudocode and algorithm by seeing this example. The problem is same. Our problem is finding biggest of 3 number. For that particular problem, we already discussed the algorithm, so we know how to find the biggest of 3 number. We have an algorithm in our hand now, so we are representing that algorithm in 2 different ways. One is our flowchart and another one is our pseudocode. First, I am reading values of A, B, C. Then, if A is greater than B, then assign A to max. So max, this is a temporary variable here. I am checking if A is greater than B. In that case, what is the meaning? A value is greater than B, right? So what I am doing, I am assigning the value of A to one more a temporary identifier max. Now the biggest value, first we are comparing A and B, and we identified A is the biggest value. Now we are storing that biggest value in temporary variable called max. Otherwise else we are assigning B to max, because if that condition is failed, if A is not greater than B, then which is greater? B is greater. So that is why I am storing B to this variable max. Then finally, if max is greater than C, if my maximum value, it may be either A value or B value, that is not important here, because I already found that in this place, correct? Are you able to follow this? So now I am comparing max. If max is greater than C, then print max. Max is the biggest number, because I already compared A and B and found one big number. Now I am comparing that big number with C, and if it is bigger, then directly printing max, or otherwise print C, which is the greatest number. So I am just using one temporary variable, that's all. Clear? In the previous step, I directly compared the value, but here in this pseudocode, even you can directly compare, that is not an issue. But here I am using a temporary identifier max for storing my result of previous step. That's it. So are you able to understand the difference between algorithm and pseudocode? Algorithm we write in a natural language, pseudocode we write in a formal language that almost looks like English language. Any programmer can easily convert this pseudocode into programs. In any programming language, it is possible. And it is short. So first step, we are identifying the problem, then we are writing an algorithm for the particular problem, that is our solution to the problem. We are representing the algorithm in flowcharts as well as pseudocode. Both are easy. Pseudocode, it is the short form of our algorithm.